On a recent camping trip, I tried the air conditioner and discovered, to not great surprise, that the air conditioner didn't work. So I decided to remove it and not replace it. I used a long utility knife to cut through the caulk that was around the air conditioner and actually made sure that it went through the whole way, but I still did it from both sides. From another YouTube video, I discovered that there were basically 4 rivets that were placed through the side of the air conditioner. Now, the easiest way to basically get the air conditioner out is to put like a putty knife and pound with a hammer through those rivets. I didn't record that, but it actually worked very well. And if you are doing this project, I'm sure you've come across that video, and it worked for me. Okay, now I got everything cut away, and with some wiggling, it just comes out. You can see here, 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 and here is where those rivets are. Here's just a quick shot of the dimensions if you want to see how far the air conditioner sticks outside and inside. There you go. Okay, I took out the water tray and kind of cleaned up the caulk along the edges here. Now I have this board that's just about the right size. I'll cut it to fit. I was thinking about putting that on the back here, attaching it to the back, and then in between get like some insulation, styrofoam type stuff. Put that in there and put a cover on. Still trying to figure out what to do with the cover, like piece of plastic or fiberglass, and tape it on. I'd love to somehow be able to use the snaps, but maybe just tape, or just screw through the metal, something like that. Now, one other idea that I had is basically take a baggage door. I'd custom order it to fit this hole and replace this with a baggage door, and then with the drawers I'd get a pull-through drawer so that I could still pull it out from the inside as normal, but then also open up the baggage door and pull the drawer out this way. That'd be kind of cool and save me some trips in and outside the camper. I don't know if I'll do that, but something to consider in the future. Okay, so what I did was I cut out this piece, and the plan is to nail it to these side pieces here. So it just so happens that it can slip in right like that. And then I carved out the notches so the counter can go back to where it normally is. Now there is a little gap. Still trying to figure out what to do with that. And then once I'm done, I got this big space here. Don't feel like I should not let that go to waste. So I got this stuff to use as insulation, so I just got to cut it to size, put it in there. And here's how it looks in place. I don't have enough that I could put a second layer in, but actually this might be good because I might then cut out a piece of wood this size, put that here, and use that to help mount my covering to this. So I think that's okay. Now what's interesting is what's got a lot left over of that stuff is use that on the inside in these corners that leak so much. Of course, I didn't think of this until after the fact, but I could have cut this out so Pink Panther would fit in there perfectly. Oh well. Okay, so I cut out a nice board, fits in there really well. And what I've done is ordered this. It is aluminum composite material. After doing some research and seeing what stuff is available online, this seemed like a good, basically, option. I don't want to peel all this off, but it's a nice white color that will match the fiberglass. And basically I can kind of manipulate it, or, you know, carve it out like wood. So I can cut it, route it, and put holes in it, all that stuff, to hopefully get that, put that down, into shape. Now, the reason I chose this was I was looking for fiberglass stuff to more match, you know, the fiberglass that's on here, but none of the pieces came big enough. But I was able to find this. It's 16 by 20. It was about 30 bucks. Not cheap, but not expensive. But basically my goal is maybe I'm thinking taking out the snaps and using those screw holes to kind of bolt this on and then put caulk around it. That's what I'm thinking for right now. Things might change. Okay, so what I've done is cut this to size. Should fit perfectly over the aluminum. I routed the edges, so it's hopefully a nice clean look. Now the edges are dark, which aren't ideal, but it'll give it a nice frame. We'll see how it looks. And what I'm thinking of is then using the screw holes for the snaps to bolt this into place, and then put caulk around the edges, because you can kind of see there's actually a pretty good gap there, and that's caused by, well, you know, this aluminum on this aluminum, and then the rivets. Now I could take this whole thing out. I really don't want to do that, because maybe I want to put an air conditioner back in here, and this is like, you know, semi-permanent. Well, I feel if I took all this out, replacing all that would be a lot of work. So this is kind of a semi-permanent replacement, but I think that'll work pretty good. The hardest part is going to be trying to match these screw holes exactly, because they're not, you know, exactly perfect. You can see, I don't know if you can see it in the screen, but this one is lower and this one is higher, and this one is kind of like in the middle, for example. So I just got to find a way to mark the screw holes to match this, and then bolt it on, and then caulk around. Just as a side note, here's the pieces I cut off. This stuff was really surprisingly easy to cut. Just used my regular wood stuff, cutting tools to do it, and it's actually surprisingly malleable. So if you got some curves or something, you can work with that. But yeah, I would definitely work with this stuff again. So far, not too bad. Of the various methods on how to transfer the holes from here to the plate, I like this one the best. So just use blue painter's tape, mark the edges, mark the holes. Like you notice the top is along here. And then I'll take this tape off and put it on my piece. Okay, here's what it's looked like. So I have my marks. I actually put little nails in, and don't know if you can see that, put little pinholes in exactly where the screw holes were. And that's where I'm going to drill. All right, I do have a riveter, so I just put rivets in, and I took out the snaps and basically put the rivets in the same holes as the snaps, just to avoid making more holes in the frame. And that's pretty much it. Went on really nice. I still got to put caulk around it, so plan on doing that. And if for some reason I ever decide I want the air conditioner back, I can just remove this, remove the boards on the inside, and swap in the new air conditioner. And here's what it looks like. I think it blends in fairly well. Obviously you can tell something is still there, but you know, it looks better than the air conditioner sticking out. Now let's work on the inside. Basically, I want to build a little container where things can't like fall behind stuff and get stuck and lost. That was my primary goal. Not very fancy, but just make it work. All right. You saw me kind of put this together quickly. I put this like little wood strip here to kind of bond this piece and this piece together. Just so nothing could like push this and like slip behind. I still, you know, because I got the drawers here, I'm most likely going to put a board across here so nothing could like, you know, fall over and block the drawers. Still thinking exactly about that, and you know, with the piece of wood or the, you know, the wood that I got, not sure anything I have will work, so I might have to actually buy a piece for that. But in the meantime, the countertop is not connected, obviously. What I did was I put this on. This is not connected. I plan on screwing or riveting this on to that aluminum piece, and see if I can get it with the camera. So it's kind of screw in on here to get it so this is like actually like connected to it, and then you can see kind of the pieces or the cabinet top still slide around. So that'll just make it look a little bit nicer. I might paint this you know, like black or something, going a little bit ways down or something, just to kind of make it look a little bit nicer. But what then I did was I built a box, or half of a box. And as you can see, I got a piano hinge here. And the idea is the piano hinge, I'm going to screw to the countertop, and then I'm going to be able to open this up and get access to that. Now, you might be wondering, why didn't I do it this way? I really thought about that pretty hard. The cut here to make everything kind of work might be a little weird, because where exactly, sorry for the camera work, the hinge would go, you know, would the hinge go up here? Would it go here? It was just a little complicated, and to be honest, I kind of like this little backward movement where it's a little simpler and it just goes up like this, and then I have my storage space. I also want to mention the other reason why I decided to go this way instead of this way is this way you kind of gotta like hold it up while you grab stuff in here, and in some ways, sorry, that moved. It's, you know, this is going to constantly fall down on you, and it's a little bit harder to access. But well, if you go this way, it'll stand up on its own and you have direct access in there. So I just think that's a little bit better solution than having the hinge this way. The main thing is I wanted to make sure it didn't interfere with this wall coming down. It shouldn't. That's what I got. Now, what I plan on using this storage space is, I have like picnic table covers, a couple of fans, that kind of stuff that I use occasionally, not a whole lot. It's kind of awkward. Could, you know, basically get it and put it in here. And I think it'd just be a better space than one of my drawers that I have, which maybe then I could actually use for some clothes. So just a nice little space that got opened up by the AC unit. Should also mention, I do plan on routing this so it's a nice, rounded corner. And then what I'm thinking of is either painting this black or using the contact paper that I have that matches the existing cabinets pretty good, and just put that over this. So haven't decided what I'm going to do. Definitely not going to leave it natural. And here's what I ended up doing with this space. So I built this nice little cover, tips open, and there you go. So I put this on here just to make it look a little bit nicer. And I still have to put a backing on this so when stuff comes in here, it doesn't get in the way of the drawers. But I figure I'll store some things like picnic table cover, just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, and free up room in my other drawers. Thanks for watching. And as I put this video together, I thought that space would be really nice to put a pop-up something, like a pop-up TV, a pop-up pantry where, you know, you have shelves and cans and bottles and all that kind of stuff. Something really, really cool that you could just pop up as needed and push down. I don't know. Maybe a future video, maybe not, but thanks for watching.